Hello. Oh, sod it, it'd be right. Then let me change my audio over to my headphones. Oh, here you go. So yeah, here you go. I'm having a problem here. This is Sky News Australia. Judge rules against the UK migrant hotel. Huge likely Nigel will become Britain's next Prime Minister. Okay. So, got a reply here. Yeah. That's right. What are your top 3 UK policies? Right? Reply. I've even liked it. Right. Reply. Here we go. Recording it this time. And of course, yes, come prepared. It's in where is it? Here we go. Yeah. I'll give you my top 6 priorities, yeah? To repeal the ECHR, getting Brexit done, drop DEI nonsense, the government party who's held accountable. Yeah. I'm not going to put this bit in. I've already put the last bit in. Just say Farage is using his propaganda outlet to childless silence any voice, such as Ben's, Rupert's, and Tommy's. Right? I'm not going to put that bit in. I'll give you my top 6 priorities, young man. There you go. See if that stays up now. Okay. Yeah, I had replied. It could have been a mistake on my behalf, not clicking send because I'm old. But this is the second time now that it hasn't. It's disappeared. Yeah. That particular comment I've just copied and pasted. Obviously, sent it to this guy here. Who was saying what are your top 3 UK advanced UK things? Right. So I'll reload it. Reload the page.
Obviously,
I know.
4 replies. It's still there apparently. I think somebody's manually going through it, you know, and having a look. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be automatic, but I'm fairly sure that will in a bit disappear. Very well. Because it has done now twice. Crazy, isn't it? And I've different. You guys have just seen me click send, and obviously it says it there. Look, reply. Yeah. They're a bunch of boggers, aren't they? Huh.
a lot of this disquiet leads to people wanting to have a massive change, and that massive change is going to be Nigel Farage, right? They're still 3 years before a general election, but absolutely sailing in the...
This is Sky News Australia. I've just mentioned that, haven't I? I mean, you'd expect it from the UK version, right? But as Farage got his little propaganda unit now out to Sky News Australia, or have I been looking through it through just a right side of politics view and just, you know, thought, yeah, because they've always parroted Nigel Farage's policies, whatever they are. Yeah, whatever they are. I've already explained, haven't I? These are Ben Habib's, you know, these are his policies, yeah, to repeal the EHR, deportation of all illegal migrants, drop the DEI nonsense, getting Brexit done, allowing freedom of speech, a government party who's held accountable by its public members' votes. And if I go up to here, look, the mission. This is Advance UK's own website, which you can get just here. I'll leave it in the description. We will build a proud and independent and prosperous United Kingdom. We'll stand for a nation, freedom, democracy and equality under the law. Very good. Our nation is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and all its parts, and with all its people. That's you and me, guys. That's you and me. Party asserts every part of the Acts of Union which created the nation. Yeah, that's Northern Ireland, which is still in the EU, which keeps us still in the EU, because Nigel Farage just buggered off, and then what did he do? He then did Reform UK, yeah, which isn't a party, it's a business, of which you cannot vote Nigel Farage out, because apparently he got through out of UKIP. So he's got a bit of a bee in his body about that, and he didn't want to get thrown out of the next party that he created. So he created this, and now he's got him and good old Mr. Yusuf at the head of the snake, if you like. Party asserts every part of the Acts of the Union which created the nation. Yeah, so Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and of course England. Party stands against any arrangement which is not compliant with those acts. Promotes and celebrates the nation's Christian constitution, the roots, traditions, culture, and values. Excellent. Can't be wrong with you know. I mean, we've lived here for 2,000 years with the Christian constitution. Yeah, that's under threat now from the Muslims, or the Islamic constitution. It's under threat. The sovereignty of the United Nations stands as a bulwark against the undemocratic influence of the supranational national institutions, international laws. Yes, sovereignty of the nation stands for, yeah. Freedom, cornerstone of democracy, is the freedom of speech, which, yes, we can all agree on that. If you can't speak, then that's it. You may as well live in North Korea, or getting to be mostly any part of Britain nowadays. I'll probably go knock on the door just from this. All people should be free to think, speak, and act according to their conscience and beliefs, if they do not incite any violence. I don't think I've incited any violence, have I? No. Children should be protected from ideological and political indoctrination. Yeah, I've actually thought of an idea, you know, for this this bit just here. It wouldn't be necessarily ID that you'll need. What it'd be, something just in the corner of any news feed, and then what it is, you see, it like links back to, you know, Ground News, which is an independent verifier, if you like, of news, and then all it'll have to do is just go from red, being this is fake news, to middle, which would be you know, yellow, or it hasn't been checked out yet, or red, or green rather, meaning, yeah, this is true, and, you know, please absorb this information, whatever. It should also put a stop to anybody screen recording, like I'm screen recording this at the moment, right? Because when you screen record, you'll still have the same meter as when you first started recording it, so you can take no notice of anything that's yellow or red, really. You know, that means it needs checking out, or it's fake news. Obviously, anybody without that particular dial on their web page, then you just take that as just normal communal garden, you know, internet jibber jabber, rather than anything that needs to be taken to heart and listened to properly. There should be minimal government intervention in people's lives. Yeah, exactly. Government democracy. The government should serve the British people and be accountable to them. Of course, they should. And there will be under Ben. This is why it's in his mission statement. Okay. There can be no dilution of the government's ability to discharge this obligation and the people's ability to hold them to account, which is why we're going to have the college, and then any, not directors, but the upper echelons from the college, or the people in Parliament, and any of us can request to vote someone out, give our reasons as to why we should vote them out, and then if they've been found, you know, guilty of that particular thing, they're out. Yeah. And the people's ability to hold them account by membership of international bodies, the entering into of an international of international treaties, international law, and domestic quangos, which are all your or all your like circos and stuff like that, who own not only the drones for war, but also all the HMOs, the homes of multiple occupancies. So, you know, I suppose really we didn't ought to be moaning at them, did we? The owners of drone missiles and the HMOs, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Equality under the UK law. All people living in the UK should be equal before and subject only to UK law. Correct. No Sharia law. Well, Sharia it's called. It's not called Sharia law. That's basically like saying Arabic law and then English law. So you're saying law. If you say Sharia law, it's Sharia. Which of course is coming in councils. Well, so they reckon it's councils. But this is why you've got a two-tier justice, for God's sake. Yeah. You've got a two-tier justice because they're splitting the law down the middle as well with their Sharia and our UK British law that our forefathers have fought for. You know what I mean? Well, of course you do. Over 1,600 years, they've got 1,600 years to catch up with. I mean, if you think that you're going to ship people in, right? Especially as they've got no passports or any kind of identification, we've got no idea what they want to do. Got no idea what their what the background is or anything. They throw the passports overboard. What on earth are we doing? Yeah, if we could have done that in 1940, no 19 when were it? World War II, VE Day. No, not VE. I mean D-Day, 1943, 44, somewhere around that. I can't remember. Yeah, if we. Anyway, should not be any discrimination based on ethnicity, sex, or sexual orientation. Correct. British legal system must be the only legal system in the nation, and its application must be impartial and free of political influence or control. Okay, so you've seen Ricky Jones, you've seen that case, you've seen the case for Lucy Connolly. True, Lucy Connolly did say guilty, right, at her court date, right, but then she'd been coerced into saying that by someone, yeah. I've tried to look into it. I can't find out if it were a legal aid lawyer. I can't find out if it were a private lawyer. So no one really truly knows. Only Lucy can tell you that. It could have even been the Criminal Prosecution Service, who were basically, I believe. They're the government, okay? They're put there by the government. Legal aid lawyers, they're put there by the government, right? There's certain ties, of course, to the court, or even Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer himself, I mean, he used to be the head of the CPS, didn't he? So he's only got to nudge one of his friends, in my opinion. He's only got to nudge one of his friends in the court system and say, oh yeah, give him a lenient or throat book at her, yeah? If you think, anyway. Yeah, and what's his name? The guy who hung himself in his cell. Oh, I should know his name. Yeah, I'm sure I've got low-level bloody dementia. You know, I'm sure I have early onset. What's his name? Let it come to me soon. Who? Peter Lynch. Yeah. Come to me, see. No, it would. Peter Lynch. He were locked up, weren't he? And he was told to plead guilty. Yeah. Sure enough, I mean, Starmer could bring in the 24-hour courts then, couldn't he? Hey, to lock folks up. And then you've got the guy, the Ricky bloody, the throat guy, the throat counsellor, Labour counsellor. You know what I'm saying, of course you do. Well, you know what I mean. I'm not saying anything. I can't say anything because I've got no proof. I can think it. Thought, please. Anyway, yeah, all this lot's gonna go. I've no need to worry about what I say to you if Advance UK get in, right? Security of life and property are fundamental in creating a peaceful and prosperous society. You could watch the video if you wanted. Do you want to watch the video? Our mission statement. There you go.
The first is we stand for the nation-state of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, in all its parts and for all its people. At the heart of our constitutional foundation are the Acts of Union 1800, and we will make sure that those acts are observed completely. We will stand for freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is critical to democracy. Without freedom of speech, simply you can't have debates and you therefore can't have democracy.
I mean, do you think that Nigel Farage is going to stand for freedom of speech, really, when he's silencing Habib, which was the beginning of this video? Yeah, I'm going to have a look after we've watched this. I'm going to have a look, see whether or not my comment has disappeared. Okay, I've done no cuts in this video whatsoever. I've done a pause, but there's no cuts. I haven't got a second monitor. I'm watching what you guys are watching. Yeah. Do you seriously think that Nigel Farage is going to have a freedom of speech policy? Because he can't, because he's not practicing it himself, is he? Right.
We will ensure that our children are not indoctrinated. We will ensure that the political views you hold won't land you in jail.
Sure that our children will not be indoctrinated. This is the schooling and things like that. So, you know, I mean, what's his name? Oh, crikey, he's the guy at the head of the British, or high up at least, in the British education system. Look him up. Yeah, he's an Islam guy. And then you've got like these professors saying that, I've just watched it today, saying, you know, oh, we're not allowed to fly our Union Jacks or our St. George's Crosses. So they're the education system, yeah. And this is where all this woke ideology is coming from. Why do you think you've got all these GonkWombles, right, doing these Free Palestine protest activist things? Because they're all students. Most of them are students. They're either students or they're old folks who just vote Labour anyway.
It is absolutely vital for the progression of any civilization to be able to air their views without fear and without favour. Freedom of speech also will be at the heart of our political philosophy. Which brings me to democracy. No country can succeed other than through democracy. It may not be a perfect system, but it is frankly the best system that the world has ever produced. And we used to be the mother of all democracies. But as a result of our freedom of speech being set aside, burdens coming into British law from international law, memberships of supranational institutions, the giving away of power from Parliament, these entities, as well as domestic quangos, we are just a shred of the democratic force that we used to be. And if we wish to be prosperous, it is essential that we restore our democracy. So the other principle by which Advance UK will stand is the removal of international and supranational laws from our political fabric, from our constitutional fabric, the removal of all these quangos and these so-called experts, and the returning of power to Parliament, where we can hold our parliamentarians properly to account. And what we must remember is that those of us who are in public service are only in public service to serve the people. The people don't serve us, we serve the people. And that quaint old concept has to be re-established. And the fourth principle on which we stand, and this is essential just as the other three are, is equality before the law. We must all be allowed to go about our daily lives not fearing that we might be subjected to a two-tier criminal justice system. And like our democracy, our judicial system, which used to be the pride of this nation, has been deeply damaged over the last few decades. We will restore our judicial system so that Lady Justice once more is blindfolded.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. You know, leave the ECHR, leave because that's controlled by the World Economic Forum and things like that. You know, it's all those quangos that are interfering in our government. You know, in government policies. they're able to pull the strings because they own a lot of stuff over in the United Kingdom. So yeah, I'm still going to check that. What's it in a bit? What else have I got? Here in I've got something somewhere. I've got on my nose here. Look, remote responses for negative feedback. Don't you think Farage will hand the baton to Zia Yusuf, just like he did Boris Johnson during the Brexit, non-Brexit? Northern Ireland is still in the EU, and it's true. I watch a non-political channel called Way Out West. All right, he's a guy who's building just like my dad used to. He's got a workshop just like my dad used to. He's passed away, unfortunately. My dad would be making things like, gyrocopters and boats and model boats and full-size boats and anything. Put it this way, I was the first kid in 1977 to have an electric-powered go-kart. Yeah, a little car that I could ride around on. It had a dynamo in it out of an old-fashioned, something like a really old car. So yeah, so he's building this garden railway thing, which is something I'm interested in. And he's even said, it's a waste of time me ordering things from the UK because it takes 3 weeks to get here because we're still in the EU. It's not political channel, so as I say, it may as well get them from China because they're cheaper. But he'd rather get them from the UK. But it'll probably do that if ever we remove the border towards the UK, and there's no need to rely on the post because it's the same amount of time from bloody China. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the final trade agreement was never promoted by Farage, which it wasn't. Ben goes on about that on Liam Tuff's video, the one from a month ago. Where now all these lefties are being brought in by Reform Party. Ant Middleton, he's got replaced by. It begs the question of who's pulling the strings. I do quite like that one. Anyone saying Ben Habib is starting a new party to get back at Reform are simply parroting from the Nigel Farage propaganda pamphlet entitled Wahh. yeah, I pinched that from South Park when they were on about Prince Harry's book entitled Wahh. Anyway, crying emoji. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I did a video last night actually, but my memory card on my phone filled up. So I'll iterate on this again. UKIP, all right, is an activist party. That's the Nick Tenconi one, which has also got a load of roots still in it from Nigel Farage when he was still in it. It's still got a bad name. Everybody thinks that as soon as Nigel Farage left, UKIP just closed down. Yeah, I mean, whereabouts do you listen to that? Where do you hear any mainstream coverage of Nick Tenconi's Nick Tenconi's street protest, basically. I mean, he's an excellent, is he an MP? This is how much I don't know about Nick Tenconi, but he should join Advance UK for more of a structured party with organisation, and this is absolutely true as well. I was getting some terrible National Front vibes from Nick's members, in inverted quotes, because they said, "Yeah, I'm a member. I'm actually the official runner for Scotland or something like that." In the Facebook UKIP forum, this is why Nick needs more of a sturdy and organised party. We get a book, we get like a rule book, that I've just gone through with you just there, so we try to stay on target with the mission status. Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant website. It's so good like that. You've got college members and stuff. I'll go through this in a bit with you if you want. Well, if you want, I will do. If you don't want to watch it, then you've always got a stop button, haven't you? This is why Nick needs more of a sturdy and organised party, or it's just going to fall by the wayside. Never. I mean, who's his? What's his party structure? I don't know. Just been through this with you. That's been a response for positive feedback. Somebody says, Yeah, clean, newly rooted, which is important. But I don't know. I mean, Nick's intelligent. I really do hope that he's going to join. I really do hope he's going to join. Yeah, Nick Tenconi. He would be a valuable asset, but he needs to leave UKIP. Or is it UKIP or what? It's called in else. Well, it is. Street protests are called something else. Britain. Something Britain. I can't remember. I mean, Ben's Christian. But if this National Front vibe, yeah, from Nick's members, yeah, if that's true, and Ben Habib is a Pakistani Christian, then this was the vibe that I was getting from Nick's supposable members or member in the Facebook UKIP forum. The vibe I was getting from there is they don't want anyone like Ben left in the country. This is the thing I was getting from Facebook, right? Very odd, and I don't think we ought to really be going back, you know, to 1950s, do we? You know, where it's oh yeah, N-word this, N-word that, and nobody gave a shit. I don't no, I'm not for that at all. But I am for getting the illegal migrants out, get these chuffing Turkish barbers shut down, especially the ones that are making tens of thousands of pounds a day, if you know what I mean. Obviously, it'll need some kind of structure with that. I think that's not my decision. It's something that I can bring up in the Advanced UK website, on the Advanced UK website. You know, maybe put something like that. I haven't had any. I think we're still growing at the moment, so emails and things like that seem to be taking quite a while to be, you know, to get back to members. But I might even set up my own little office thing, if I can do, in my living room, you know, just to do things like what I'm doing right now with you guys, and you know, answering emails maybe from the site, you know. There, look, got contact just there, look. Okay. So this is what we're having to rely on at the moment. Get in touch, look, and then your message. I've sent them a few now. I haven't received anything, but same as I say, you're going to need some staff. Even in there, this is what the members can do. We've got Join Advanced UK. What we got? Oh yeah, oh, look. So it's here, look, volunteer. Yeah. But even that is that one. Become a volunteer. You see, you can do that. Oh, just dox my name. Sod it. I'd like to help out on social media, of course. I was, oh god, the telephone number there. Oh, crikey. Yeah. But that was silly, wasn't it? Anyway, might have to edit that out. Yeah, I've got to this through me editing software, so haha, you're not going to see that. But yeah, this is what you get. At the moment, it's £10, and it's going to go up to £15 for pensioners. I'm unsure about disability people on disability. I've got a disability. I've got Poland syndrome, which is umbilical entanglements. I've got a small right hand. I put it this way: my uncle, my first uncle, he had 3 people that he had to answer to in the whole of the UK. Right, that's, you know, even over in well, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland rather, Wales and the UK, he had 3 people he had to answer to within the fire brigade. Yeah, could I become a fireman? No. What? Not even someone using the computer? No. Everybody in the fire service are supposed to be firemen. However, because of this DEI nonsense, right, that's not based on merit, it's just based on whether or not you tick these particular boxes. I'm unsure now. I might have been able to now, but he's now retired. He has been retired for a good 15 years. So yeah, what we're going to say, I can't remember. So that's that. Yeah, so let's have a look here. To repeal it, right, let's have a look. I'm going to have to reload this page again.
Obviously,
I know.
We've got 4 replies. What? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. So where's my reply? Hey? Well? Is it? And close my browser. Close my browser and restart it. I bet there's about 18 replies.
obviously,
I know.
a lot.
Right. This has 4 replies. Well, look, think. What? See? What can I do? Hold on.
Actually quite shaken. I didn't.
Oh yeah, look, this is Ben Habib's Liam Tuff's interview. I mean, that's a good 2 hour long. I've been all the way through it. And I've also future me. Look, this is me. Future me left my ass off at timestamp there. I've already.
Well,
done
here
a
we
video
go.
on
So
this
Tommy
one,
Robinson's got his cultural events he put.
Yeah, I've already done a video. I'll link that when the video finishes. What else are I gonna do? Can't remember. Yeah. There you go. Right, I'll let you lot get off. I'll speak to you if I think of anything else I can think of. All right, bye.